Hi everybody, welcome back to my crafty den. It's Debbie here and I am crafting again today. So I'm still working on my 12 Days of Christmas Ornaments series, and I think this is day 5. I'm not sure. I think it's day 5 that this will be posted. And today I am going to do some more paper crafting ornaments. I love paper crafting ornaments because, well, number one, it's so easy. Number two, it's cheaper than doing a lot of other crafts because you could do this with so many different kinds of paper. And for this one, I'm just using packaging as my base. This one happened to be a package of drumsticks. Yeah, so yeah, I like them. So anyway, this is easy, and it's another one of those crafts you can do on your own depending on how upscale you want it to look, or you can do it with your kids because it is easy and they can put their own take on this. So once again, I'm going to go with some plaid scrapbooking paper. Now, if you've seen the other ones, you'll notice that these are the papers that I used to make. These ones here, these three, are the ones that I used to make my gift tag ornaments. And I've pulled this one. This is, let me get it up here so you can see. Is this not pretty? It is a gingham. Some people are calling this buffalo check. Now, I'm not sure, but to me, buffalo check is a big square print, and this is gingham. And yeah, just a nice little tiny check. The first thing that I did for this was to create myself a teeny tiny little mitten. My template's here somewhere, and I just did it because it was easy to do. I just did it on a piece of thinner paper backing. And so I'll keep that one so that I can use it for my next mittens. And I am going to use this just because it makes it a little bit stiffer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my plaid paper over. And I am going to glue these to the back of my plaid paper. I'm going to use my Tombow glue because I like this glue for paper crafting. I just really like it. So then just turn this over. I'm going to put it as close to this edge as I can get it without going off to save paper, because I'm going to cut out 4 of these mittens out of the scrapbooking paper, a piece for each side of both mittens. So I'm going to stick that one down there. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. There, so I'm going to let that tack up for just a couple minutes. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut these out. Then I'm going to flip them over right here. And I am going to have these covered on both sides. But when I flip them over, I am going to take a piece of this twine, this jute twine, because I want it to be my hanger. I'm going to cut a piece that's about, that might be too long, about 6 inches long. And I am going to glue it. I should do that right now. I'm just going to use the other end of this glue. I'm just going to put a little bead of glue down right here. And a little bead of glue down right here. And then I am going to glue this twine right in here, like that. I might have to push it down for a couple of seconds and let it tack up. Now for these, I just prefer wet glue because hot glue is going to make this, see, that tacks down really quickly. So both of these are tacked. See, that's down. That's down. So I'm just going to let that dry. If I don't hit this with my hands. And put my lid back on my glue. So I'm going to let this dry for about 5 minutes and go fill up my coffee cup. And I will be right back, and I'll have these flipped over and glued on the back. For the next part, I want to trim the cuffs of my mittens, And I'm using, let me see, I'm going to show you. At Dollar Tree, you can pick up this. It's called Super Soft Microfiber Cloth by Driver's Choice. These are 16-inch by 24-inch pieces of this soft and fluffy, kind of just an off-white, not a stark white, but it's really fabulous material. To be able to get that for $1.25, that size is just fabulous. So if you see it, stock up on a couple of sheets of it or a couple of towels, because it's great stuff for projects. So what I did was took from the end where you can see there's the corner, and I cut a piece about 1 inch wide. I want to purposely leave the seam on it. So all I'm doing is taking my hot glue and I'm going right along. I'm putting a little bead down, but I'm putting it down about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch away from that seam. And then I'm just rolling this over like that. I don't want to cover up that seam. That seam's going to be my edging. So now I've got this nice long, I got a piece about 15 inches long. You don't need that because you just don't need that that much. So I've got that down. But what it gives me is this nice edging. It gives me that. It's like the top of a little, this could be used to trim the top of a stocking, a little boot if you're making a boot. It could be, and on this case, it's going to be cuffs. Cuffs for my mittens. So let me see. My camera's gone a little bit wonky here. I'm working really hard at trying to keep this in frame. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to start with a nice crisp, straight edge right there. See, just a nice straight edge. And this stuff does fluff and fray a little bit, but that's okay. It's fluffy. That's why it's so nice. Then I'm going to take my hot glue. I think I need another hot glue stick in there. Line that right up on that one there. And now it's in there. So then I'm going to take my hot glue. I'm going to take my mitt. I'm going to go on the inside here, the thumb part, I think. And I'm going to start by putting a bead of hot glue right along there. Now you could probably wet glue this, but at the same time, I guess I'm going to start at the other side now. What I want to do is I'm going to put this down. I'm going to take my seam and I'm going to put my seam so that it's just below that hot glue right there. And see how that creates this, it has this little focus. I don't know why the camera's not focusing. I'm going to fix that. See if it'll focus now. It just doesn't want to focus that close, eh? So anyway, it gives me this nice edge, this trimmed edge, that it looks like it was done on purpose. And then I'm just going to wrap it around to the other side. I'm putting my glue like close to the top, right close to the top, right up here. God, that's making me crazy. And so that when I put this on here, it actually comes up above and it'll hide any imperfections at the top of the paper. And then push it down along the seam, just like this. And then, excuse me, I'm going to trim off this piece right here. And I had to have a seam somewhere, so having it on the inside is probably good because I plan on putting these together like this. So those two little edges will actually be together. So let's start on this side. So I get that on the right side on this one. There. Hot, hot, hot. I need a little spatula. A little bit of glue came out. I'm just going to take that off while I still can. There. This is my last week's boo-boo from hot glue. So I'm trying to be a little more careful. And I'm all thumbs when I craft. Like, anybody that watches me on a regular basis could probably tell. I just love it, but I'm all thumbs. So I'm going to wrap this around like that. I'm just going to give it a push, and then I'm going to use this once again so I don't burn myself. There. And then I can trim it. Oh, goodness gracious. I wasn't being careful. I was so good about putting that string in there. Oh well, I'm going to cut it off. And so this is what you're going to do if you forget that you had that string in there, or if you forgot to put it in when you're making them. Because I've made these little mittens and forgot to put the string in completely. And so I'm going to cut this one off like that. So yeah, so I'm going to just glue a piece on there after. So I want these to be, I think I want the thumbs to be on the outside like this. So how do I want these to go together? Do I want them to go together like that with a space in between them? I think I do. So I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to put a little bead of hot glue on the fur right there and stick the fur together right there like that. Like it's separate but together. So let that sit there for a minute. Oops, it's coming apart. This is just putting them together is the tackiest. Now you don't have to put them together. You could just make them and leave them, but I want this to be one big ornament. And that's just me. So I want a space between them. So I'm going to take a little bit of my Tombow glue because I want it to be permanent. I don't want that hot glue to come off. I'm going to put some Tombow glue right there, but I'm also going to put a little dot of hot glue to hold it together right away. Just a little dot. And then I'm going to overlap that just a little bit. Take that hot glue that came out of there off. Most of it came out, but it's still stuck together. There's enough in there to there. And then I'm going to decorate this, but first I'm going to put that string back on. So I'm going to cut my string. There, see that's got me all frustrated because I cut that string, and that was just foolishness on my own part. But that just goes to show you, like, it never goes perfect. So I'm going to take a little knot on the end of this. See, I kind of want my loop to go like this. I didn't want it to go just in the middle and hang it because they just twirl. I want it to be so that there's kind of a front on this ornament. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put a little knot at the end, just like this. right near the end like that, just a little knot, because it'll give something to the glue, for the glue to hold on to a little bit better. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. You don't have to do this, I don't think, but it's just me trying to be extra careful. Yeah, if I was extra careful, I wouldn't have cut that off in the first place. So yeah, crafting is real, people. The struggle is real. And I'm not going to edit this out. I'm leaving this in, darn it. So I'm going to take my, because these are up a little ways, I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to go right in the middle where that was and put a little dab of glue right there. And I'm going to set that knot into the glue just like that. And then I'm just going to pinch this. And it'll still look like it's coming out. It's just not down in there like a little pull would pull this off. But, you know, nobody's going to be pulling on my ornaments on the tree. At least I hope not. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Right where that little piece was coming out before. I'm leery of this glue gun now. I want my string to be straight, so. And I'm not even sticking my finger in that. No. There. There. So that's my mittens. But I want something to, I got a little bit of glue right there. So I want to decorate this a little bit, and I have some little bits and pieces of stuff left over from before. So I have, so I think I'm just going to put some little sprigs there. One there and one there. Like that. So I just have some little pieces of greenery. So I'm going to stick one there. And these little sprigs are actually just little pieces trimmed off of a dollar store Christmas tree. So you know those Christmas trees, the little ones that come in the box. I think they're 18 inches high or whatever. I've used them a ton. So, and then I've got these little, these are plastic, these little things. They came in a little bag on something else. But look how cute they are. Oh my goodness. There, that's better. I just had to set a setting. I must have hit something when I wasn't. It's amazing what I see in the viewfinder. So I hope these don't melt when I put them on here. But I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And it's so hot that it does melt some of the plastic stuff. I'm going to let it cool for just a second. And I'm going to put that one there. And then this one here. Just like that. And then I have these little berries, and I think they're so cute. Now they are just a little wire with a berry on each end, so I can take them. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue right on the wire because it won't melt the wire, and then I can let it cool for a second before I shove it in there. And I'm going to shove a little berry in there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So you can probably tell that for me, working with small bits is my hardest thing. There. So there it is. Those are my mitten ornaments. Now those are adorable, and they measure, mine are quite big. Of course, because you're using your own template, you're drawing your own size, you can make them however big you want to. But mine are a good size, like they'd go on a full-sized tree. So mine are 5 inches by almost 5 inches. So that's a good size. Now I'm going to wait until this is really, really dry, because I can feel when I squeeze the paper, I can feel that it's still, the glue is a little bit tacky on the inside, and I have to get ready to leave. So for all intents and purposes, this is done, but I'll come back with my, straighten that one a little bit. I'll come back later with my file or a piece of sandpaper, and I'm just going to go around these edges to smooth them out a little wee bit. And I'll probably pick at this a little bit too. Yeah, so it's done. I really like it. I think it's cute. Like, that's going to look just adorable hanging on the tree. And it's a paper craft for, I mean, basically it's a paper craft, except for that little bit of trim along the top and the embellishments, of course, but you do that with paper crafting anyway. So yeah, paper craft your way through Christmas if you want to. So for all you paper crafters out there, I think these are a really cute idea. They would even make a great swap. You could decorate them up, put them in a little package, and send them off to your friends. You could add them to other projects, all kinds of things. And the really sweet thing is you can make them as big or as small as you want to. So you could do teeny tiny little ones. There's no reason why you couldn't do teeny tiny little ones and turn them into embellishments as well. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have a paper crafter or just a crafter in general who you think might like this idea, go ahead and share it with them. And by all means, if you're not already a subscriber, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can see what's coming up for the rest of this series and what happens in the new year as we flip over to the 2020 calendar as well on my channel. So bye-bye for now, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.